Representative Steve Cohen joining us now, Democrat from Tennessee, a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Aviation Subcommittee. He's the ranking member, also a member of the Judiciary Committee. Representative Cohen, good morning.
Good morning to you.
From that hat from the Judiciary Committee, taking a look at the actions of Elon Musk, what are the legality questions?
There are lots of legality questions concerning what Elon Musk is doing. It's unclear what his authority is and what authority his 19 to 24-year-old Dickens-like kids who are running amok in Washington, screwing things up and casting people who have careers and children and families' lives in chaos. It's unclear what authority he has and what laws he's violated in going into buildings and taking over computers and the access to the computers without security clearance and seeing classified data and what they might be doing with it, but the fact that they're in possession of it and maybe putting it on different servers might raise problems concerning hacking. So there's all kind of possible law violations. You got to remember, Elon Musk is a man who said when we had our first budget proposal before the administration had come in, he sounded the alarm. He was our Paul Revere, saying how terrible the bill that Speaker Mike Johnson proposed in working with Democrats to deal with the past budget was wrong because, number one, legislators, congresspeople were giving themselves a 43% pay raise. Outrageous. Well, he was right, it had been outrageous if it was true, but it was a 3% pay raise, not a 43% pay raise. He said the bill gave the D.C. government $3 billion to build a stadium, a football stadium in Washington. False. Gave D.C. and some variations to a lease at RFK Stadium, the rights to RFK Stadium in the area around there, but nothing about any money for a football stadium. He said it gave Ukraine $60 million or $60 billion. I don't know what it was. It was outrageous. Gave nothing. And he said we cut off the opportunity for the Republicans and others to look at the January 6 papers. No one established a process where they could go in and see them. So Elon Musk is a man who can't even read a bill and understand it. He reads bills and he puts out language that is false to the American public, which is scary. And some people are just amazed. Because he's the richest man in the world doesn't make him the smartest man in the world. There have been a lot of rich people that weren't so smart. And you can start with the President of the United States, who has said that we have given $50 billion worth of condoms to Hamas. We have not done that. We gave some condoms to a place called Gaza that's in northern Africa, not Gaza that's in the Middle East. He doesn't understand his geography, and he said it 2 or 3 times. The only condoms we need are over his mouth.
So in response to criticisms from you and other Democrats, including Senator Schumer, Mr. Musk responded like this, saying hysterical reactions like this is how you know that DOGE is doing work that really matters. This is the one shot American people have to defeat bureaucracy, the rule of the bureaucrats, and restore democracy, the rule of the people. We're never going to get another chance like this. What do you think of that response?
Who said that?
That's Elon Musk in response to Senator Schumer.
He must be off his meds.
Could you elaborate? What do you mean by that?
Well, the man's not rational. Because he's rich, he took over Tesla and he took over Twitter. He ruined Twitter. They've lost a lot of money. Now, for him, it's great because he can tweet all he wants. You know, Tweedledee, Tweedledum. He does a lot of Tweedledum. But he's not necessarily a great businessman. And people say, oh, he's brilliant. I hear him on TV, a lot of these folks on MSNBC. Oh, well, he's the smartest man in the world. Oh, he is brilliant. He's not brilliant. He's rich. Albert Einstein was brilliant. He was not rich. Albert Einstein cared about helping people. That's what God intended us to do when we were on Earth, not to make more and more money and to plant a flag on Mars. I don't think Mars wants our flag, and I think it's a waste of money. And if you want to talk about America first, and Mars about 433,000th.
Well, specifically then to USAID, how would you defend USAID in light of the things that Mr. Musk has said about and its operation?
Well, one of the first things I learned in Congress, and it's my 19th year, was from some senior members who were Republicans. And some bills came up to take money from USAID, and they told me, and they were experienced guys, they were conservatives, they were old traditional Republicans. They said USAID is one of our most important programs because it not only helps people, and which is important directly on a one-on-one level, but it helps America because we're seen in the world as a helper in crisis situations where there's poverty, where there's need for water, need for food, We do a lot. We do more than anybody. And the other people out there doing things for these people are Russia and China. If we're not on the playing field doing the good things that people respect about America, and it says USAID from the American people, then Russia and China get all the perks, and they get all of the minerals that we want to get from the Congo and from wherever else in Africa. They provide lithium batteries that make Teslas and give Elon Musk a bunch of money.
Aside from shutting the whole organization down, is there a case to be made that efficiency needs to come to organizations like USAID?
I don't know if they are efficient or not, nor does Elon Musk. I know that they don't get much money, much less than Musk made last month. He made $126 billion in inflated values of Tesla and other investments that he has. But I don't know that they're inefficient. Just because you say they're inefficient, you know, the agencies and the people that are supposed to be responsible in our government for rooting out fraud, abuse, and waste. Fraud, abuse, and waste. That's all you hear. It just trips off their tongues. Those are the IGs. Trump fired all of the investigator generals, and he fired every one of them. None of them did anything wrong. He did it illegally. He was supposed to give 30 days notice to Congress. He gave no notice to anybody. And he took out the people whose job as independents are supposed to root out fraud, abuse, and waste. And he put in Musk, that doesn't know what he's doing. He can't read a bill.
This is Representative Steve Cohen joining us. And if you want to ask him questions concerning topics of USAID, Elon Musk, or other things, 202-748-8001 for Republicans, 202-748-8000 for Democrats, and then Independents, 202-748-8002. If you want to text us, it's 202-748-8003. We've seen private lawsuits against Mr. Musk's actions. What's the role of Congress, particularly Democrats, at this point?
We're in the minority, both in the House and Senate, so there's a lot we can't do. The Congress can have standing to sue in court, but the Democratic caucus, which is a minority, cannot. And individual congressmen don't have standing. But we've worked with legal groups, and we're going to work with legal groups to bring lawsuits. The Government Employees Union brought recent lawsuits concerning the firing of certain officials, and these letters they put out to suggest people should voluntarily quit, and they'll get this great, they go to Tahiti or the Bahamas, have this fabulous vacation, and then have 8 months of free pay, and blah, blah, blah. It's a wonderful deal. You know, Donald Trump is famous for not paying his subcontractors, his contractors on jobs. He doesn't pay. The man is not somebody you want to do business with, and the man's nobody you want to make a deal with, a contract with, because he doesn't fulfill his promises. So I hope the government employees stick with their lawyers, and we're going to stick with their lawyers. The ACLU brought lawsuits on the deportations, many of which are illegal. They made it sound like they were only going to pick up violent criminals, and I can see picking up violent criminals, although I think violent criminals should be probably in jail for being violent criminals and convicted of rape or murder or all these crimes they say they committed, and that these people, yes, but it showed they picked up half the people they picked up had committed no crime at all. And then the little girl that they've got there being as their press secretary said, oh, but they were criminals the day they came into the United States because they came in illegally, so by that they committed a crime. Well, if that was the basis of committing a crime and picking somebody up and deporting them, why'd we have to pass Lake and Riley and use that poor girl's death and murder, which was atrocious and awful and something that just makes everybody's heart bleed, make her the name of a law that only says that you can continue, you pick people up for misdemeanors like shoplifting. If their crime can be just coming into the country, you didn't need the Lake and Riley law to make shoplifting and other nonviolent crimes basis for deportation. We're seeing a whole bunch of just throwing pictures out and platitudes and symbolic things without taking action. What have they done to reduce the price of eggs? Zero. What have they done to help the working man? Have they talked about increasing the federal minimum wage? Not at all. They're doing nothing about the economy except for billionaires. And all this is to save money with this DOGE thing, to try to say that they can raise money for the tax cut they're going to have to continue the Trump tax cuts. His only success in his first term, to give billionaires who are living the life of 564,000 Rileys a pay raise.
Okay.